world is witnessing a naval expansion unlike anything seen since the Second World War. The People's Liberation Army Navy is launching warships at a pace that has stunned naval analysts, policymakers, and strategists alike. Every year, new destroyers, frigates, corvettes, submarines, and aircraft carriers are inducted into service. Satellite imagery shows entire fleets emerging from Chinese shipyards almost overnight, creating the impression that China is on the verge of unmatched naval dominance. This visual spectacle has led many observers to conclude that China is building the most formidable navy in history. Hull counts are compared, graphs are drawn, and projections are made that assume numerical superiority automatically translates into operational superiority. Before we move forward, please like, subscribe, and share Strategic Vanguard, and be up to date with the latest news and happenings from the world of defense and strategic affairs. Tune into our video channels in Rumble and YouTube. And if you want to hear the audio version, please tune into Strategic Vanguard Deep Dive in Spotify. But naval power is not built on shipyard photographs or launch ceremonies. It is not determined by numbers alone, and it cannot be understood without examining what lies beneath the surface of these impressive statistics. A warship does not end its cost at launch. In reality, launch is only the beginning of its true financial, human, and logistical burden. For the next 30 to 40 years, that single ship will continuously consume resources. It will require fuel, spare parts, regular maintenance, system upgrades, dockyard access, and trained personnel. Over its lifetime, the operational and sustainment cost of a warship almost always exceeds its construction cost, often by a wide margin. Steel can be produced quickly when industrial capacity exists, but experienced sailors and officers cannot be manufactured at the same pace. Modern navies are complex human institutions, and their effectiveness depends on people far more than on platforms. Officers, engineers, technicians, and senior enlisted personnel must be recruited, trained, retained, and rotated over decades. This human dimension is where rapid naval expansion begins to encounter hard limits. Every professional navy in the world operates under the same unavoidable cycle. A ship can only be in one of three states at any given time. It is either deployed and operating at sea, preparing for deployment through training and workup, or undergoing maintenance and refit. This cycle is not a matter of doctrine or preference. It is imposed by physics, fatigue, safety, and the unforgiving nature of the maritime environment. Saltwater corrodes metal, electronics degrade, engines wear out, and hulls fatigue. Crews cannot remain at sea indefinitely without rest, retraining, and rotation. As a result, even the most capable navies accept that only about 1/3 of their total fleet can be operationally deployed at any given moment. Another third is training, and the remaining third is in maintenance or refit. This reality applies universally, regardless of national ambition or political system. This is why large fleets exist in the first place. They are not designed to deploy every ship simultaneously. They exist to ensure sustained availability over time. The United States, for example, does not maintain 11 aircraft carriers so that all 11 can be at sea at once. It maintains that number so that 6 or 7 can be available during crises, while the rest rotate through training and maintenance. China is bound by the same operational mathematics. Aircraft carriers provide a clear illustration of this constraint. No matter how many carriers China builds, it cannot deploy them all simultaneously. At any given moment, one carrier will be deployed, another will be in training or certification, and another will be in refit or maintenance. Increasing the total number of carriers increases availability only incrementally, not proportionally. The same logic applies across surface combatants and submarines. Submarines, in particular, impose even harsher constraints. They are technologically complex, maintenance-intensive, and inherently dangerous to operate without strict discipline and experience. Nuclear submarines require highly specialized crews and lengthy refit cycles. Diesel-electric submarines demand frequent maintenance and careful crew management. A submarine not at sea exerts no deterrence and poses no operational threat, regardless of how impressive it looks on paper. The most critical constraint facing China's naval expansion is not shipyards or funding, but human capital. Modern navies are officer-heavy institutions that depend on experienced commanders, engineers, aviation specialists, nuclear technicians, and senior non-commissioned officers. These individuals take years to train and decades to mature. Experience at sea cannot be simulated or accelerated without risk. China's rapid fleet expansion has outpaced its ability to organically grow this pool of experienced personnel. Ships are being commissioned faster than seasoned crews can be developed. As a result, many vessels experience limited sea time and extended periods alongside. Some exist more as inventory than as active combat assets. Within naval culture, such ships are often referred to bluntly as dock queens, impressive at port, but rarely tested at sea. Naval history consistently demonstrates that experience matters more than equipment. Navies that have spent decades conducting sustained deployments, joint exercises, humanitarian missions, and crisis operations develop institutional depth that cannot be replicated through production alone. They learn how systems behave under stress, how crews respond to emergencies, and how command decisions hold up in real-world situations. China's Navy is learning quickly, and its progress should not be underestimated. However, it remains a relatively young blue water force. Operational maturity is earned through time at sea, not through statistics. For now, China's paper strength exceeds its operational depth, even as that gap gradually narrows. As fleets grow larger, sustainment costs grow faster. Fuel consumption rises, maintenance backlogs increase, personnel costs expand, and dockyards become congested. Over time, navies must balance new construction against readiness and upkeep. History shows that expansion eventually slows, not because ambition fades, but because sustainment becomes the dominant expense. China has not yet fully encountered this long-term financial gravity, but it will. None of this suggests that China's naval expansion is insignificant or that the People's Liberation Army Navy is weak. On the contrary, it is becoming a powerful regional force and an increasingly capable global presence. What it does suggest is that alarmist interpretations based solely on hull counts distort strategic reality. True naval power depends on sustained deployments, crew proficiency, maintenance discipline, logistical depth, and institutional experience. When these factors are taken into account, China's Navy appears formidable but constrained, impressive but bounded by the same laws that govern every maritime force in history. In the final analysis, naval power is not about what is launched into the water. It is about what sails, what stays at sea, and what can fight tomorrow after fighting today. Availability beats abundance, always.
Thank you for joining us on this strategic Vanguard deep dive. If you found value in this analysis, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We bring you fresh deep dives every Wednesday and Saturday here on YouTube and Rumble, and you can also catch the audio versions on Spotify and Amazon Music. Just search for Strategic Vanguard Deep Dive. For more insights, articles, and discussions, subscribe to our blog at strategicvanguard.com. Your support helps us grow and bring you more in-depth analysis on defense, geopolitics, and strategy. Until next time, stay informed, stay strategic.